And let's see. Welcome, by the way. How do you pronounce your name?
Like, it's Taria.
Taria. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I'm going to get a picture of your sister up here. So hold on one second. And thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
I was doing a little bit of looking at, I just can't imagine what y'all going through. And you know, the ins and outs, the bottom line is she still has to be found. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how she got there. It doesn't matter any of it. She's got to be found. So this is who we're talking about, everybody. And y'all, welcome our guest. And I'm just going to let you, you know, do you just want to start? Just tell a story from the beginning because, you know, I'm just learning about it too. So you can go ahead, hon.
Okay. So my sister, Karen Lee, she goes by KK. She had just moved to Georgia in the beginning of December. She had been struggling off and on with some addictions, and she had actually basically pulled herself out of it. Her children were her main driving force in everything she did. She fell off the wagon, and the one thing that she wanted to get back to was her children. So she finally pulled herself together and had sobered up. And in December, she sent me a message that I'm ready to go be with my children now. And we got together. I got together with the children's father. He drove down here to Florida, picked her up, and she moved up to Georgia. Everything was going phenomenally well. I would get selfies of her and the kids and pictures of the cats for their modeling calendar that she was going to make for them. And you know, it was beautiful because I finally got to see my niece and nephew happy and gleaming because their mother was home, and they struggled for a long time, you know, just a couple of, like, it was about 3 or 4 months that she had been away from them. While she contacted them every single day, she just wasn't with them physically because she knew that she had to get herself well. Right. So it was just a beautiful story for everyone. And then the week before she went missing, some things kind of hit the fan. I guess alcohol wasn't involved, and she called the police on herself, and her and the boyfriend had an argument. It was nothing abnormal, but she kind of had like a little bit of a mental breakdown. So the police drove her to Manchester, Georgia, which was literally about 30 minutes from where they were living. Now, the interesting thing about where they're living is it's the smallest town. There's 3 houses that kind of surround their house, and then no houses for miles.
Oh, wow.
This is literally out in the middle of nowhere. And just to go to the grocery store, you're going to drive about 30 minutes unless you go to the one little store that they have there in their little town.
Sounds like where I live.
I'm not used to that. When we went looking for her the first week she was missing, it was a lot of driving and kind of chasing our tails because it's just so rural. And it was a little bit disheartening because I was like, I'll never find her here if she was in the woods or something. Wow. So anyhow, the police had driven her to a motel, and she checked in there for the night. And the next morning she called and was apologetic and everything. And Chris, I'm just going to call him Chris from now on, went and picked her up, brought her home. Then as the next couple of days went on, things started getting a little strange. Her behavior had changed a bit. And the day before she went missing, the children, both her son and her daughter, said that a man that no one had ever seen before showed up at the house. He was an older African-American man. They described him to have a goatee with gray in his goatee and gray in his hair. And the weird thing about it was he knocked on the door. The children opened it. He introduced himself as someone that had just purchased the house next door. And he told them, he said, I'm here because I want you to look over the house, and I'm going to pay you. So when I'm not here, watch over this house next door. Well, the children had no idea that this wasn't true and accepted $40 each from him. He had given them $80 to watch this house. And so they just kind of didn't pay attention to anything that was going on after that and went back to being kids. And then the father, who works nights, didn't know about this incident at all. By the time he had gotten home, the children were in bed. And at 5 a.m, there's a knock on the door, and it's this man again. This time he has a story that he was there to speak with Chris, the father, saying that, this crazy made up story that Chris had gotten his 16-year-old daughter pregnant. And Chris is there, 5 a.m. He's like, what is going on? He's like, you have to go to the house. Like, I'm going to call the police. The children woke up during the commotion, and my nephew walked out and said, Dad, that guy was here today. And so anyhow, he told the guy to leave, and there was another larger African-American man on the front porch with dreadlocks that was there as well. So they left. Him and my sister went back and forth. My sister was like, you got somebody pregnant. And she really seemed very convinced that this guy was telling the truth, that all of a sudden at 5 a.m, he's going to go to Chris's house to talk about getting his 16-year-old daughter pregnant. But I believed it. And he said that she was upset. But they laid down, went to bed. He woke up about 11. The other kids woke, about the same time, and she was gone.
Wow.
Yeah. And the thing is the strange part about it is, like, even when I went up there, I saw it myself. I mean, most of all of her coats were hanging up at the door. All of her clothes were there. Her makeup bag was there. I originally was under the impression that she didn't take a purse, but we did discover that she had taken one. But according to the police later on, she has no ID with her. So we're not really sure if she actually has a purse with her anymore or not. But
I think it's strange because I've scoured through so many pictures of her. The makeup bag is something for me if she was going to be gone, because she does seem like she liked to fix up. She liked to, look pretty, things like that. She's stunning. She's absolutely stunning. And for those of us just joining, please pronounce your name again. I want to say Taria.
Taria.
Taria. I'm so
Maria with the T.
Words kick my ass daily. I so apologize. She is joining us today to tell us about her sister. Now, her sister, SAFE Kristina Lee, they call her KK for short. She moved from Florida to Georgia. She was in Georgia about 2 weeks?
She was there a month, a little over a month.
Okay. I don't know why I was thinking 2 weeks. And she's just gone. Now, what is the in-between between when she went missing from Georgia to what y'all found out from San Diego, which I think is completely insane. And I think it was a little premature on these publications without her family even speaking to her. Do you want me? I have an article pulled up on that. Do you want to tell me about it? Do you want me to read the article?
Well, if you want to, are you talking about the article that was released by Meriwether?
Yes.
Sheriff's Office? Yes. This article, and if you can read it if you would like afterwards, I think it would be good just kind of give a preface to it. But they released an article claiming that my sister was found safe and it was a positive outcome. And they literally were patting themselves on their back about what an amazing job they did searching for her. And it was a positive outcome. In the meantime, I want them to knock on the door and talk to her children and ask them how positive all of this is.
Yeah.
But, so they put her into the system and the Be on the Lookout. When it was put in the system, I guess, she had been reported missing since January 26th. I believe that they kind of dragged their feet a little bit getting her into the bolo. So come February 2nd, they get a ping back that her name had been entered into a report in San Diego. So they were able to get in touch with San Diego. They spoke with one of the officers and they got the body cam footage. They sent me some pictures from the body cam footage that literally are heartbreaking and had me identify her. And it's, of course, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, she is not okay.
Right.
San Diego says that she told them she was, and this is where she wanted to be. Even though they both mentioned to me that it was mentioned, that they had said her mental, she didn't seem to have good mental stability.
Sure.
Anyhow, I told them, I said, well, we need to figure out how she got there, everything else. And basically Meriwether just like washed their hands of it. They're like, oh, well, she was found alive. I'm like, well, how can it be that she's safe now? Because the sighting on January 21st was before she was even reported missing. It's very odd how this mother of two, who literally had taken her daughter to get her ears pierced 2 days before she's missing, shopping and decorating her room, is now all of a sudden on the other side of the country with her dog looking like she's on the brink of death, laying on a concrete floor next to a man wearing a wedding band and with another gentleman that's back in the corner. However she got there, she had no money. She had no job. She had no car. And you're telling me that these people had enough money to get her across, to San Diego, but yet they're all sleeping in an abandoned construction site. There's too many things that don't make sense.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, please go.
No, I was just going to say, here's the thing. Here's my pull away. Like, either way, whether, because we make bad decisions, I am completely familiar with recovery, the process, 12 steps, all that stuff. So it's relapse can definitely be a part of recovery. Absolutely. And bottom line is she's missing. The end result's the same. Her family doesn't know. So whether they say she's unofficially not missing or not, that's why I was like, well, I think it is good for you to come on, and she may see it if she is in a space to where this is her choice. But I just think when you get so far gone, or, that's an awful long way from Georgia with nothing and a dog. Hopefully she'll see this if she's able to, but what about would the San Diego, would they do like a welfare check or something? How do you welfare check a construction site? This seems so weird.
According to what Meriwether Sheriff's Office told me, once San Diego discovered that she was missing, they went back to look for her, and she could not be found. When I filed the missing persons report in San Diego, the officer told me that she found the report very strange because it had been notated in there about my sister, her mental stability, but also that they thought it was odd that she had refused all services. They asked her for all services and she refused it, and that's something that most people in that area do not do. When you're homeless, you're not refusing food, water, anything like that, and she refused it all.
Wow.
So that was to her something that was alarming. I went one step further and contacted the Internal Affairs Services and got a hold of the detective that was over the officers. And the lady that I spoke with told me that he had actually already referred this to the Human Trafficking Task Force. And this is prior to me calling. So obviously they saw something to refer it to Human Trafficking Task Force. But to me, it was made out to, just let her be, let her roam the streets with a sleeping bag from the sheriff's office in Georgia.
Well, if that was her choice and she called and said, hey, back off, this is what I'm doing now, fine. But I've seen, what was it? And maybe somebody in the chat could tell me, but there was a case where this woman, I can't remember, but it happened overseas, but she kept telling her boy, she would call and she was like, no, these people have me, come get me. They couldn't find her. And it was even though, it seemed forced, it seemed like, she might have refused services because she felt she had to. The way you said it to me, that's the first thing I thought of was, well, maybe she's not taking services because she knows that she's not supposed to. And I'm not saying anything's happened, but if they go back to find her, she's not there. She's just, and she's with these unsavory guys. Whether they lay eyes on her or not, she may not be forthcoming that she's involved in sex trafficking. Most people are not.
No,
You know?
especially when the dog is all she has left of reality. And that dog, she took everywhere with her. It was her emotional support animal. If they were holding that dog over her head, and I mean, I guarantee she would do anything that someone tells her to do if her dog's being threatened, or her children, of course. But her dog, I do find it weird that if these are people with bad intentions, as I expect, the dog was their bargaining, the dog is their bargaining chip to basically
For her life too.
Succumb. From the photos that I saw, she just is not well. Like,
is it a possibility it wasn't her?
No, none at all. It was her. It was 100% her.
So how are the children holding up?
They're not doing well.
What are their ages?
12. Her son's 12 and her daughter's 14.
Oh man, that's I got teenagers. It's rough age.
Really rough.
See, it's hard to process normal daily activities, much less trauma.
And the daughter's having a really hard time eating, and she's losing quite a bit of weight. And I'm, sent my nephew a punching bag because he texted me asking me if I could please send him a punching bag the other night. So that's what we done. It just doesn't make sense. Drugs or not, she would never, ever, ever just not communicate with her kids. I mean, even at her worst, like, somebody heard from her. She grew up in a loving family. We all were very, very close. She did harbor a lot of guilt about getting on drugs. But the one thing is she knew, like, especially me, I was going nowhere. I was always here to help her when she was in trouble. There was anything in the world I would do for her. And just for her to go completely silent, is every fiber in my body is screaming like she's in danger.
How old is she? Is she 31, correct?
Oh, sorry. Just 1 second. My phone is ringing, so it just threw me off.
That's okay.
Hold on. Where did you go? There you are. Yes, she's 31.
Okay. Is there anything the kids need? Besides their mother?
Prayers. And, I talked to Mackenzie I should not be saying their names, but I talked to her daughter last night, and, she keeps playing it over and over in her head. They're just really in a dark place right now. So just prayers to lift them up. But yeah, they need their mom, and they need their mom well, and they need to know that their mom is alive. And they're fearful. They have cameras up all over their house now. The dad, all of them, they're so concerned because nobody has ever come to their house. Like, when I say rural, they're out in the middle of nowhere.
That too. I mean, that could play a part too. We know where you live. We've been to your house. We've seen your children. Exactly. So, I mean, yeah.
It's terrified that they're going to come take her.
Is there living parents involved?
My mother passed away when she was 44.
Okay.
So my father is here. He's not handling it the best. He's not really good with Facebook and all of that other stuff. But yeah, we have our father.
So do you feel like answering a couple questions from the chat?
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's see. Cake by the Ocean says, could the kids identify the two men?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Kara K says, and got into 2 situations as adults as well. Oh, wait a minute. I think they might be talking about something else. Let's see. You got a lot of positive feedback. I'm going to scroll back up just a little bit. Let's see. She's a beautiful lady. Thank you, Cheryl, and welcome to the stream. Oops. What am I doing? Let's see. And Roberta, I wanted to say, Roberta, she's one of our, Roberta Gilbert, she's one of my beloved channel subscribers, and she's the one who told me about this case. And, she's got the biggest heart, and it's just gotten to her. So I'm glad she get help. And Shar says, thank you so much for sharing your sister's story with us. Let's see. Let's see. My moderators are great. Let's see. Let's see. I scrolled up too fast. And let's see. The fact that they couldn't find her. Eric says that was a red flag. Let's see what else. Okay, so who's possibly pregnant?
So that was
story.
That basically like false flag, that the man that came to the door was waving, I guess, and he was surprised when he knocked on the door, I guess, to see Chris open it and had to have some kind of story. There is no truth to it whatsoever. Nobody has anybody pregnant. It was just another weird curveball in the whole ordeal.
Yeah, it just seems like a little extra little wrench that's exactly it. It's just to make, I've seen several comments. It's just extra. It doesn't mean anything. It was just some kind of story.
No, it's just to show just the craziness of it all.
Whitsich says we need to find and help this missing mom of two. Her sister is begging her children miss her. No one knows if she is dead or alive at this point. We love you and KK. So that was great.
Whitney is part of the True Crime Sisters, and they
how great. Oh, I love them.
They have been such a support to me. Like literally, they are there for me anytime the night or day. They're all working so hard and spending so much of their time like dedicated to this. It's amazing. And they all have children, and it's just, I've really grown to love them.
I think it's great. There's a lot of them out there. True Crime Society is another one. They do really good. The sisters do really good. There's another one on Facebook. But these True Crime Sisters, I've been looking at them for a bit. They're really good. Wesley seems pretty good too, from my understanding.
Yeah.
She may have owned a debit before she went to rehab and they came to collect. She may have owned a debt.
She had not gone to rehab. She actually was able to kick everything on her own.
Gotcha.
She definitely we were all working on getting her into some outpatient therapy and things, but she did not have a debit card. She did use a card through Venmo.
I didn't mean to say debit. It said debt. Would she have had
debt? I'm sorry.
Words are kicking my butt. Yeah. I apologize.
I personally do not know. I think that this stems from her staying at the motel the week before.
Well, I'm sure it does. It's not good stuff happens at the hotel. Let's see.
And it's beyond me why she was driven to. It was a very seedy area, very known for drugs, and it was just very, very sketchy. So I was surprised that that's where the police chose to drive her and drop her off at.
Yeah, that is weird too. The whole police dropping her off thing. That's weird to me too.
Not to mention they told me they went and investigated and said that she did not check in. Well, my fiance cousin and I went and spoke to the manager directly, and he showed me where she had signed. It was her signature and everything where she did check in.
So you would call the police and allow, well, that doesn't make good with your trust in them,
No, not at all.
Wow. That is crap. Mm-hmm. So AP says you have amazing strength. Let's see. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Has she, if you don't have to share it, or you could just do yes or no, but has she ever had substantial amount of clean time?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes. 10 years.
Oh, bless her. Mm-hmm. Oh, God bless her.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a hard fall, and she ate that internally. Mm-hmm. I can tell you from experience, she ate that internally.
Yeah, and
that's a big fall when you cross your own boundary like that,
And people are getting to know my sister through the discussion board and the page that I created for her. And so many of her clients are leaving beautiful messages about how amazing she was. She owned her own cleaning business. Prior to that, she worked at a memory care facility for elderly. And I mean, she was so gentle with them. Like it takes a very special person to be able to help take care of the elderly, and she was their baby. And it just none of this makes sense to me at all. She has like a heart of gold, and she loved fiercely. And you know, I don't understand how this happened. And you know, it's like at this point, I don't really care until I get her, and then we'll work on who took her out there and what happened.
Yeah.
I just want to find my sister.
Well, I mean, and that's the whole thing. Like, I think it was kind of poor taste for them to post, "Oh, missing woman located." She has not been located. Like, then this was prior to, you know what I mean? So I think that was real crappy for them to do that, because I know from experience, oh, the person's been found. Well, I can stop looking at it. And most people that look at cases like that, you know, by process of elimination, because, hey, unfortunately, there's no shortage of missing people, sadly.
Yeah.
You know, especially missing women, for crying out loud, especially this past year since, you know, the whole world's went crazy.
Yeah. It's amazing because even, oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, even trying to get everything back out there and trying to convince people that no, this newspaper article isn't true. We have people pushing back and wanting to argue and just say the most cruelest things. And it's really, really crazy. It's like, there should be something where reporters should contact the family before they just throw things out there, and put it out there as fact. But we all know media has not been the best. So,
well, here's the thing. It doesn't matter how she got where she went. I mean, yeah, it matters. But, you know, end result's the same. She's missing. She needs to be found. Everything else will fall to the wayside. Her family needs to make contact. Her children need to make contact. You know, by the grace of God, hopefully she'll see this or see a post somewhere. And if she is able to do something, you know, I'm telling you, it ain't many moms that can just be like, meh, screw them. No, I don't feel like she would be that way. So, we're going to scream from the rooftops. We're going to do what we can. Like I said, you know, this channel's in its infancy phase, but it has little spikes. So we have a great community, you know, so, anything we can do, let us know. Any updates. I mean, you know, just whatever we can do, let us know. Is there anything else that you wanted to say? Anything else? And then I'm going to go over the missing persons flyer before we close out.
No, I think I've said about everything I can. But KK, if you can see this, we love you so much.
Absolutely. No, please, you're fine. Pain shared is pain lessened. You are fine. I'm just trying to pull up her flower real quick. I mean, you know, they say flowers can't grow without water, honey. I cry forest at times, so it's perfectly fine.
I know, I have permanent swollen eyes. There's not enough water in the world.
All right, so let's get back over here. I'll share this. Let's see. All right, here we go. Okay, this is an updated flyer. Okay, and if you have seen Karen Kristina Lee, you are asked to call Detective Dan Deerdorf at 619-417-7511, or you can email him at DIER@pdsandiego.gov. Or you can call Class Kids at 855-733-5567 or 855-SEEK-LOST or 1-800-THE-LOST. You can call for any missing person. Hopefully they'll, you know, I've called once and they was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but so, but that's okay because a lot of stuff happens. So I thank you so much for coming on. And did you have anything you want to say, or you good? Or?
I just want to tell everyone that has been supporting me and just lighting up my life in this situation. Thank you for everyone that cares about my sister and has been spending their precious time trying to help locate her. I am so grateful for you all. And I can never repay you, but I just want you to know that I'm so thankful. And one day I'll be able to pay this forward and help somebody else.
Absolutely. Well, and like I said, pain shared is pain lesson, and it doesn't matter. End result, same. She's got to be found. Doesn't matter. People, same thing with runaway kid. Oh, they got a history of running away. Well, screw them. No, they have to be found. I mean, it doesn't matter. People kill me with this. Oh, she has a history. Well, who cares? Who don't have a history? You know, she's got to be found. I mean, so, and thank you so much for coming on here. I'm so glad I reached out, and keep me informed. Let me know if you need me to do anything. Just let me know.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you so much, honey.
Thank you.
We'll be saying prayers for you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.